Hello and welcome. I have a question to ask. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel that you're in a place that you just haven't been able to move on from? And that whatever you try, you seem to be just contained within that space? Sometimes when we are in a transitional period, sometimes when we're in a period of learning, the universe keeps us in one place in particular. And it makes us feel as though we're always repeating the same pattern, or we're always repeating the same relationships, or we're repeating the same experiences. And it gets frustrating because you're, okay, I want to move forward, I want to change things, I want to move up into a higher frequency, but you're not able to do so. And I wanted just to let you know that what's happening is actually quite normal, it's quite usual. Because if you were going to do a marathon run, you wouldn't just wake up one morning on the morning of the run and run 10k. You would have to train each day, and you'd have to build up each day until you got to that place where you could run that race and you know that you could cross the finishing line. And when we drop down into this incarnation and into this program, we've come down with a preset range of emotions that we're going to be looking at and healing within this lifetime. But what happens is when we're looking at one of those emotions, for instance, and let's keep it really simple because we're actually dealing with a whole intersection of emotions and feelings and energies that we carry from past, present and future. But when we're looking at maybe one particular emotion, it will keep being presented to us until the penny drops and we're like, oh, I understand what you're triggering in me. And that gives us this feeling of being in this holding pattern of not being able to move forward, of always bringing to us the same thing. And when and if you feel like that, my advice to you is to journey within, go deeper. What is that experience showing you? What's that holding pattern keeping you within? And what comes up for you in terms of your feelings? Because that is showing you exactly where you need to journey to release that belief system, that programming. And that can be programming from this lifetime, but also to make it more complicated, is very often programming from thousands of other lifetimes that we've had. And we keep incarnating until we're able to understand that lesson. And then we simply journey within, we recognize it and we honor it. We absolutely feel it because we have to feel it in order to move it. And then we can release it. So as an example, if you find that you are in patterns of behaviour where you're never happy at work and that you're always working with people who don't respect you, who disempower you, who try to hold you down, that might well be showing you where you need to find and do your healing around that disempowerment. What stops you stepping into your higher self, your better self? And why can you not break that cycle and end that holding pattern? Because as soon as you step into empowerment, everything shifts. It's like a timeline shift. And then you're able to see things from that higher perspective. If you're always in relationships which don't fulfill your needs, is that because you're not recognizing what your needs are and you're not honoring them as a sovereign being? And that comes from the male energy and perspective and the female energy and perspective. This is universal because there is no male, no female. We are interlinked. It's like the yin and the yang. It's the dark and the light. We can't be one without the other. So if you're in a relationship where you're not honoured, is that because you've been in situations where you've allowed your power to be taken away? You've allowed yourself to be belittled. You've allowed yourself to be not honoured in every aspect of your life. And that disempowerment shows itself in situations that repeat themselves until you get it, until that penny drops and you go, I've suddenly realised the light's been switched on. I have to honour myself. I have to respect myself. So I ask you, as we journey, and we all journey together, and it's not that one has that experience and the other doesn't. We all journey to understand those lower density emotions and energy. And I ask you just to stop for a moment and reflect. If you are in a holding pattern and one thing keeps playing out for you, regardless of that's within relationships, whether that's within manifesting money, whether that's within your work environment, whether that's within friendship groups, whatever that is, I ask you just to stop and feel it, understand it, dig into it, be a detective, and find out, what does that mean for you? What does that show up for you? And then you go in, you recognize it, you honor it, and you release it. And then what happens? Your timelines change and you come up, and therefore you manifest to you relationships, jobs, friendships, money that is flowing to you from a perspective of abundance, honouring your sovereign state, honouring you as a divine being, and then we journey onwards. But then I do say that once we've done that, believe me, something else will come up, because we are forever evolving spiritually, because we are trying to hold more light. And by being really big and brave and putting on those big pants and diving in, you are moving density, frequency. Remember, we're all energy. You're moving that density and frequency so that that light can come in. You become a lighter being. You become more empowered. You become more full of the energy of light. And when we do that individually, it's like a ripple that comes out, because we are all connected. And we connect not only to ourselves and we clear ourselves, we connect to the universal collective. And that energy and that learning we have is just spread out across the grid. So don't ever think that journey is for you in isolation. It's absolutely not. We are all doing that journey work. And we are all trying to move dense energy. We are all trying to learn as we ascend back into the light. And sometimes we just have to dig deep. We have to grit our teeth. We put on those big girl and big boy pants. And we find a moment that it's right for us to do that journey in. And then things change. You come up into your higher perspective. You come up into higher timelines of probability. And you learn and you move forward. So you don't have to be in your holding pattern. There is no reason to be in it unless you choose to. We all have free will. Today might not be the time for you to go and explore that. But there again, today might just be the time, and what I've just said might be the activator for you. So I hold that space for you, for the collective. If you have any questions, you're welcome, really welcome to write them in my comments on my Facebook page, Healing Ray. Or you're welcome just to email me through my website, which is tinaslade.org, and I'll respond to you, because we have to hold that space for each other. And believe me, I've been through the journey. I am going through the journey. I know it's painful, but I also know the revelations that come at the end of it. So I hope that helped. I'm sending that with my love and pure intentions. Have the most wonderful day, and just be amazing. Shine your light. Thank you.